Hey everyone, I thought that today I would do a class that is a little bit less intense than what you may have seen so far in my channel. And today I would like to do a Yin Yoga class. Now you may have heard about Yin Yoga, perhaps you have practiced Yin Yoga before, but if you are completely new to this type of practice, I would like to go over the 3 principles of Yin Yoga and give you a quick overview of what exactly we are aiming to achieve through this practice. The practice of Yin Yoga is not about mobilizing actively the energy in your body. It's more about grounding and creating tension and pressure in different points of the body, which allow us to access the deeper layers of your muscles, of your fascia, of your energy that is stored in your body. So the 3 key principles of Yin Yoga are: number 1, you want to get into the pose to an appropriate depth. And an appropriate depth does not mean 100% of your capacity. So if you are used to really pushing yourself and trying to achieve the full expression of a pose, this is not what we are going to be doing here. What you want to do is go to about 80% of your capacity. And this will be explained in a moment, but just bear in mind first that you don't want to go fully into the pose. You want to hold back just a little bit, because for number 2, we are going to resolve to stay still in the pose. And number 3 is that we are going to hold the poses for a longer time than we would usually. So if usually you practice Vinyasa Yoga and you go in and out of the pose with your breath, or even if you practice slower forms of yoga where you're still holding poses for about 5 to 10 breaths, in Yin Yoga you will be holding longer than that. Usually, depending on the pose, we will be holding from anywhere from 1 minute to 3 minutes to sometimes 10 minutes in the pose. And this is how this ties back to point number 1, where I said you don't want to go 100% into your range of mobility, because as you hold the pose, gravity will begin to pull you down and your body will begin to open up naturally. And if you are already at 100% of your capacity, after you hold the pose for 1 minute, 1 minute and a half, it can become really, really intense. So ideally, we start a little easier, 80%, and then we allow the body to open up naturally. And you may notice that even if you are still, your body gradually will move deeper into the pose, and then it will become more intense. Sometimes for Yin Yoga we can use props, we can use bolsters, cushions, we can even use blocks and other props. These are not there to help us go deeper into the pose like in other forms of yoga. They are there to allow you to hold the pose efficiently at 80% of your capacity. Sometimes you may find that you become comfortable after holding for 1 minute, and then you can let go of the props and allow the body to go deeper. But ideally we are aiming to staying still, focusing on the breath and feeling the sensations that arise during this practice. So the practice that I have put together for you today is a practice that promotes grounding, promotes self-reflection and going inside, and I hope that you will enjoy it as much as I have. Looking forward to practicing together.
For this practice, we are going to start with ragdoll pose. It is probably the only standing pose in a Yin Yoga practice. We're going to stand with the feet hip width apart. Maybe elongate your spine before you fold, and then fold over the legs. Let the head drop down towards the ground. And you have a few options here. You can either hold your elbows and simply hang in here. You can keep your knees slightly bent. If you feel unstable or if you feel like the sensation is too intense, you can place props under your hands. You can keep your hands lightly on a bolster, a cushion, yoga blocks, anything that you have at home. The idea is that you find your first point of resistance in the pose and then hold it and allow the body to gradually deepen the pose without pulling, without forcing your way down. And breathe here. We take natural diaphragmatic breaths and allow the breath to flow freely, bringing your attention to your inhales and exhales. Using the breath as your anchor to keep you in the present moment. You may tell yourself as you inhale, I breathe in, and every time you exhale, I breathe out. And you can repeat and continue this practice throughout this whole Yin Yoga sequence. Whenever you feel like your mind is taking your presence away from the pose, always come back to your breath. are slowly going to begin to release this pose. Drop your hands on the ground. If you were using any props, maybe move them to the side. Open your toes to the sides. Maybe separate the feet mat width apart. And we're going to come sit, squat in between the feet. Hands in prayer in front of your heart. And the elbows, press the knees to open gently to the sides. Once you've found your squat, your malasana, make sure that your spine is straight and that you are stable. Again, if you need to use props under your heels, under your buttocks in order to be able to hold the pose, because we are holding poses for a long time, that is okay. It is not about being able to do the most advanced pose or to be the one person who can do everything without props. It's about finding comfort in the discomfort, and sometimes we need a little bit of help. Bring your attention to any areas of your body where you are feeling sensation and see, check if there are other areas of your body that are tensing up. Maybe your shoulders are tense, maybe they're lifting up towards your ears. Relax your shoulders. Relax your torso actually. Find a comfortable seat between your feet. And relax your jaw. See if you can find a gentle smile. I breathe in. I breathe out. Allow sensations to arise, to come and go. Allow thoughts in your mind to come and go. And maybe observe them without engaging with them. Find a position as the seer of your being, where you are simply observing what is. from your squat, release the hands onto the mat. And we're gonna come to sit with the soles of the feet together in front of our body. The feet don't need to be very close to the body. Maybe seek to create a diamond shape so the feet are slightly away from you. You can maybe elongate the spine and take a deep breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to fold forward and allow the spine to curl. There's no need in this practice to keep elongating or to keep activation in the upper part of the body. We are simply finding again the first point of resistance where you start to feel the pose, and once you feel that, let your body relax in there. Let your head hang, let your spine curl. If your hands reach the mat, maybe keep them on the mat, but keep them relaxed. You can turn the palms up just to ensure that you're not actively pushing to go down. You can also use props. You can place a cushion or a bolster on your legs and hug that cushion, hug that bolster. Find a position that you can maintain and then allow yourself to melt into it. Let it go completely. Surrender to the pose, to the pull of gravity. Relax the body so no tension is being held. So you can allow yourself to open up and find surrender. I am breathing in. I'm breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Explore any discomfort that arises and watch the reaction of your body. Sometimes we think we're really relaxed into a pose, and after a little bit, without us noticing, different parts of the body begin to tense up again. You can check every once in a while. Check with your mind as well. Am I really here? Am I really present? And have I really surrendered? Have I relinquished the desire for things to be different, for any discomfort to go away? can I sit with the present moment as it is? Let's very gently roll up out of your butterfly, and coming out, bring the hands on the mat behind your body. Bend your knees, open the feet hip width apart, and let's take a few windshield wiper motions, dropping the knees from one side to the other, releasing the hips from the pose that we just held. Continue to be very mindful of your breath, slow, gentle movements. Cross the legs and roll forward into all fours. And we will now be taking a sleeping swan position. We'll bring the right knee next to your right hand on the mat and open the foot to the side. The shin doesn't have to be parallel to the front edge of the mat. Just simply open the foot slightly to the side. Any angle is good. Everybody is different. Walk the left leg back and see if you can sit in the mat. If you cannot sit all the way down, you can add a block or a cushion under your hips. And whenever you're ready, you may fold forward. Again, relax. You can go as deep as you want, as long as you are not forcing your way down. You can place a bolster under your arms to elevate your body if the sensation is too intense without props. Relax the back leg, relax the shoulders and the jaw. Maybe close your eyes if they were open and focus on the breath again. Never let go of your breath, bringing your attention inward. Never stop scanning your body for any tensions, for the sensations, and feel free to be curious about how they feel. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Coming up on your hands, we'll take a small twist here, short twist. Take your left hand and cross it underneath your right arm so that your left shoulder comes down on the mat and you are twisting to the right side of your body. Your right hand can stay on the mat in front of you, or you can intensify the twist very gently, very mindfully by bringing your right hand behind your back. Be sure not to go beyond 80% of your capacity. Breathe here and relax. Coming out of the twist, if your right hand was behind your body, bring it in front of your body, both hands on the mat. Curl the left toes and step back into a downward facing dog. We won't stay here long, but take your time to release the previous pose. If you need to bicycle the legs or make any gentle movements here, feel free to do that. And whenever you feel that that's enough, we will take Sleeping Swan on the other side. The left knee comes next to the left hand. Open the shin to the side as much as feels comfortable for you. Walk the right leg back. See if you can sit on the mat or place your props under your hips. Inhale here, and as you exhale, fold forward and find your Sleeping Swan. Sometimes one side of the body feels different than the other. See if you can take the same expression of the pose that you did on the other side. But if this is not possible for whatever reason, make adjustments, use your props, find the right amount of sensation in your left hip and let it go. Breathing in and breathing out, surrendering and accepting the present moment. There are many things that happen in the outside world, not just on our yoga mats, that cause us discomfort. And the beauty of this type of Yin Yoga, this type of practice, is that it teaches us to maybe take a step back and observe from a detached point of view what it is that is really happening, and can I breathe through this, and what does happen when I do breathe through it. Does my perception of it changed? And if it changes, then how so? I breathe in, I breathe out. Slowly coming out of your sleeping swan. We'll take a twist now to the left side. So with both hands on the mat, take your right hand and cross it under the left. So your right shoulder rests on the mat. Your left hand can either stay in front of you, or you can place it behind your back if you are okay with a little bit more of sensation. Be mindful of your body, mindful of the breath. Stay present. Slowly begin to release the twist. And once again, we will take a downward facing dog as a counter pose. Please put hands on the mat, curl the right toes, step back into your downward facing dog. And again, you can just stay here without movement, or if it feels better for you, you can bend your knees alternately and maybe sway your hips from side to side. It's really up to what feels best for your body right now. Dropping the knees down onto the mat. Come on to all fours and then lower down on your belly. We will take a broken wing pose. Make sure that you have a space to extend the arms, shoulder width to a T by your sides. And we will roll first onto our right shoulder. So we're laying on our belly with the arms extended to the sides. And we will turn to the left side of our body, rolling onto the right shoulder, broken wing. You may bend the knees and either keep both legs on the ground, or if you can handle a little bit more of sensation, maybe open your left leg, place the left foot on the mat and lift your left knee up. And maybe, if possible, you can also place your left arm behind your body. Feel free to wiggle a little bit in this pose until you find the right sensation. And once you've done so, once again bring all of your attention onto the breath, finding presence, finding acceptance, finding surrender. Let's gently release the pose. If your left arm is behind your back, bring it in front of your body. Lower the legs. Come again to lay on your belly with the arms open, extended to the sides. And we will roll now onto the left shoulder, rolling to the right side. Again, legs can stay bent together on the mat, or you can lift your right knee up, placing the right foot on the mat. The right hand can stay in front of you or behind your back. Find your sensation, find your pose. Find your breath and scan for unwanted tensions. See if you can really take a step back from any sensations in the body, from the narrative of the mind, and see if you can just observe what's happening and realize that even if you are uncomfortable in this pose, even if you are uncomfortable in any situation outside of your mat, you always have the choice to take a step back and breathe and observe and let it unfold as it will without it altering your inner peace. See if you can find that space inside. Rolling out of the pose, releasing the right arm and the legs. Come to lay on your belly again. Maybe make a pillow with your hands. Bring your toes to meet, open the heels to the side. And lay here for a bit, completely relaxed, finding space. We will take snail pose, a light inversion, also known as halasana in the context of hatha yoga. If you need to use any props for this inversion, you can prepare them now. I am personally using a bolster so my feet don't go down all the way down to the mat but stay on the bolster. If you want to do the full pose, that's okay. If you don't want to take this full inversion, that's okay as well. I will give you an alternative. First, for snail, we will lay down on our back. And I have my knees bent here. I'm gonna lift my legs up and overhead to place my feet on the bolster. Again, if you're not using a bolster, your feet can stay on the ground. You can also use a chair and keep your feet a little higher. It's important that your hips are still lifting up towards the ceiling, but you find a relative amount of relaxation in the pose. Of course, we cannot let go completely in this one, but make sure that you're not making an excessive effort. The hands can stay on the mat or they can support your back. You can also simply keep your back on the mat and your legs up in the air. Legs up the wall is perfect as well. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Slowly and with control, we are rolling out of the pose, one vertebra at a time. Once the back is on the mat, lower the feet, open the feet mat width apart, and bring the knees in to meet each other. You can place your hands on your lower belly and stay here. Again, no need to take control, no need to engage in fast movements. Appreciate this moment for what it is. Last pose, we'll take a reclined spinal twist. We'll remain on our backs, open the arms to a T, shoulder width, and in this case, I am wrapping my left leg around my right and dropping both legs together to the right side of my body. You don't need to wrap the legs, do what feels best for you today. As the legs fall to the right side of the body, you can either continue facing the sky, or if it doesn't bother your neck, look over to your left hand. Keep both shoulders on the mat, and if your left shoulder floats high off the mat, you can instead keep a block underneath the knees so that both shoulders will stay on the mat and the knees will be slightly elevated from the floor. Breathe deeply here. If it's hard to breathe, maybe you went a little bit too far. Remember, it's not about making an excessive effort. It's about allowing the body to open up gradually. It's about finding the space to observe within ourselves. Slowly bring the legs up to center and we will take the other side. So this time I will wrap my right leg around the left and slowly drop both legs to the left side of my body. Let's look towards the right hand. Again, if it doesn't bother your neck, breathe here. This is the last pose. Make sure that you savor the moment, that you're still with the breath. Let's lift the legs back up and unwrap them if that's what you were doing. Hug the knees to your chest. Stay here for a moment. Now place your hands on your knees and push them away from you, then to the right, to your chest, left, and away again. And let's make big circles with the knees, giving a final massage to our lower back area. Slow and mindful movements. One last time. And once you're back at center, let's change the direction and do 3 more big circles to the other side. Once you're done, hug your knees to your chest again and release to find your final Shavasana. Make sure that you can find a comfortable position. I'm pushing my bolster away. The legs are slightly apart. The toes fall open to the sides, completely relaxed. Arms by the sides of the body with the palms facing up. Let go of any control of the breath, whether it was intentional or not. Allow yourself to relax completely, to melt onto the mat. Stay with the breath. Let thoughts come and go without engaging with them, without judging. Any thought that arises can go just as it came, and you don't need to engage with that narrative right now in this moment. Right now, you are doing your Yin Yoga practice. You're observing, you are being and not doing. And still breathing in and breathing out. Slowly begin to bring awareness back inside your body. Deepen the breath, wiggle the fingers and toes, bring in little movements in. Raise your arms above your head, bring your feet together and give yourself a nice stretch. As you exhale, release and bend the knees. Roll to the right side on your mat. You can rest here for a moment, and whenever you are ready, gently come up to meet me in a seated position where your legs are crossed, your spine is straight, hands on your knees or Chin Mudra. Let's take a few breaths here, natural breath. will finish our practice with our hands in prayer in front of the body. You may bow forward if that's part of your practice. Thank you so much for doing this practice with me. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I would love to receive your feedback. And please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you would like to practice together again. Thank you.